Good. And just begin by feeling the floor below you, feeling the props, maybe taking a sigh or two. Noticing all 10 of your toes, the balls of your feet, the heels of your feet, where your sacrum is making contact with the floor, your upper back and shoulders, your arms, wrists, hands. Good. And then you can take your arms overhead. They could be diagonally. They don't have to be straight overhead, just on the floor. So wherever they can rest on the floor. And then start to widen the feet and windshield wiper the knees side to side. Let your head roll too, if you'd like to, in either direction. Good. And now when you go to your right side, let's roll onto your right side and reach with the left arm over and across, and then come back onto your back. Go to your left side, take your right arm and reach over and across like you're reaching diagonally and up to the left. And just going side to side like that. So you roll to your side and then reach and roll to the other side and reach, letting your breath flow. So you're just letting your breath be continuous here. Noticing how your neck feels, noticing what makes this movement feel easy or challenging. Good. And now let's come back to the center and just pause, bringing your arms down at your sides. Take an inhale. And let's take a long exhale out through pursed lips. And again, inhaling. And long exhale. Now inhaling again. And let's exhale to bring your both knees in towards your belly, holding your knees in the way that feels best to you. You could hold them on top of the knees or below the knees, and just rocking a little bit side to side. So you can tug on that right knee, rock a little to the right, tug on the left knee, rock a little to the left. Let's keep breathing. Good. Now let's pause in the center and holding both knees above or below. Let's now make circles. So we're going to circle both knees together, going around and around like you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Again, letting your breath be continuous. And now let's circle the opposite direction. Good. Now just coming back to the center, let's let go with your arms. So keeping the knees there, can you let go with your hands, spreading them out to the sides? And now let's take the knees away from the belly a little bit. So they line up above your hips. Your feet are below your knees. Okay. And just notice if you can feel your core turn on. Okay. Good. Inhaling. Now, if this is too much for you, you can hold the knees. Good. As you exhale, can you engage the lower abdominals? Really tighten those abdominal muscles. If you need something below your head, you can put it there and repeat. Inhale and exhale. Now notice, are your knees touching? And if they're not, and even if they are, but you want to, you could take a block between them. If you don't have a block, grab a pillow or a rolled up blanket and you can put that between your knees. Now, if it's very hard for you to keep your feet off the floor here, you could put your feet on the floor. All right. So if you're okay, then keep them up. But if you need to put them down, you can. What we're going to do is inhale and take the knees down toward the right, just a little ways. And then exhale, begin your exhale, tighten the abdominals, bring the knees up to the center. And then inhale, knees go a little bit to the left. Exhale, engage the abdominals, knees to center. What I'm trying to get you to feel here is that you're using your core strength to bring those knees up to the center. And we're also working on rotational strength and rotational mobility in your spine. Now, I've started to go a little bit further with my knees, so I'm hovering right above the floor. You don't have to do that. Do the amount that feels like you are in control of your movement and you are using those abdominals without like overarching the back or anything else or drawing them in close to the belly. And if you're doing this with feet on the floor, it's the same thing, right? You're just keeping the feet down. So it's a lot less load on your core or on your low back. Let's try a few more of these. Good. Now, next time you come through the center, let's place the feet down, remove your block, and just let the knees open, soles of feet coming to touch. Okay, a little reclined butterfly or um, supine Baddha Konasana pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. Now bringing those knees back up to the center, let's roll over onto your side and then all the way onto your belly. And then you can scoot yourself onto your mat if you've come off of it. And we'll be in Sphinx pose. So up on the forearms, if this feels too high for your back, you could have the elbows spread wide so you come out a little lower, right? Now pressing the pubic bone down, let's reach your chest forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Inhale again and exhale. Good. And now let's lower down so that your right hand is on top of the left. So your hands are stacked and your forehead will come down to your hands. Okay. Now from here, we're going to be just lifting the right elbow. That's it. Okay, so we're going to inhale, lift the right elbow, exhale, lower it down. So the right elbow and the arm, right? Up and down. If I were doing it on the other side, it would just look like this. Okay, so right elbow lifts and lowers. Try to relax your neck. Two more. And one more. Good. Now, you may want to watch me for this next part. So you might just prop your head up or get where you can see the screen. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to imagine that my head is just on a platter, the platter of my hand. Okay, so I'm going to try not to use any back muscle, any neck muscles here. My neck's going to be relaxed. And so what I'll try to do now is I'll inhale and lift, but you notice I'm not doing this, right? So my head is not going forward. I'm keeping my nose facing the floor. I'm pushing down a little bit with my left arm. I'm engaging my glutes too. And I'm going to exhale down. Okay, and we'll do this about 5 times. So head is on the platter on the right hand. Engage your glutes, and when you're ready, inhale, see if you can really relax the neck. You'll use some pressure with the left arm into the floor and exhale down, and then do a few more. You can just notice what this is like for you. Can you keep your neck relaxed? Can you keep the glutes engaged? I'm also keeping my feet on the floor. Keep relaxing the neck. Good, then calm down, and you can turn your head to the side if you want, or just otherwise rest for a couple of breaths. And just notice, if you have chronic neck tension, you might be clenching your neck when you're doing this. Okay, we're really going to try to relax the neck. Okay, the next side, we're going to start with just the elbow. So the left hand will come on top of the right, forehead rests on top of the left hand. And then we'll inhale, lift the left elbow, exhale, bring it down, and again. Couple more. Okay, then come down and pause for a moment. And we'll do the second part to this, right? So forehead's resting on the back of the left hand. Going to engage the glutes, keep the feet on the floor. And as you inhale, I'm going to try to lift the head like it's on a platter, a little bracing down with that right arm, and then exhale back down and try a few more, really trying to keep that neck at ease. All right, and then rest. So you can turn your head to one side or wiggle your hips a little bit. All right, now, and you can watch this first too. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my forehead on the floor. So in order to not smash my nose, I have to tuck my chin. Right? And I bring the arms back at the sides. And usually I have you lift your shoulder heads away from the floor. Right? That's a common thing that we do. And that retracts the shoulder blades a little bit, externally rotates the arms. This time, we're not even going to worry about that. You can, in fact, you can let the palms come up actually, and you can let the shoulders kind of round toward the floor. Okay, I'm going to try to focus on using the back muscles rather than the shoulders, so the low back. So I'll inhale, I'm going to press my pubic bone down, engaging my glutes, keep my feet on the floor. I'm going to exhale, see if I can lift my head and shoulders without taking my chin forward. So look at me if you're not already, just to check it out. And then exhale back down. So not this, right? I'm not looking forward. Keeping that head down. I'm relaxing the shoulders. They're actually slumping down a bit. And inhale. My hands don't even lift because I'm not working the shoulders at all. My hands stay down. And try a few of these, keeping your glutes engaged. If you're feeling a pinch in the back, go lower. Don't go as much. And really try to engage the glutes. Let's try a couple more, letting those shoulders relax. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can put your arms wherever you want, wiggle, waggle the hips, or you can bend the knees and windshield wiper the knees side to side. All right, so just noticing, I'm wondering if you felt your low back working, if you felt those low back muscles working. We're trying to strengthen the muscles of the low back. Okay, so if you weren't, just what were you feeling working, right? So just try to think, what was I working? What was I using instead of my low back? And we're going to try another set, and you'll have be an ability to hold it if you want to too, like holding the posture. Okay, so again, the arms come back, palms can be up or down. The shoulders are just relaxed. You're working your glutes too, so they're tight. Okay, and then from here, I'm just going to inhale and try to lift just a little bit. My head stays down so my neck's not working, shoulders aren't working. Now I'm going to come up and hold, but you can keep going up and down if you prefer. I'm not going to hold my breath though, I'm breathing. You can even try relaxing the glutes if you want to. And come down. Good, just wiggle waggle the hips. All right, now we're going to take the arms straight out to the sides from the shoulders, but the pinky is on the floor and the palms are facing forward. Okay, so what it's like a T. Okay, but the palms are facing forward. So now I'm going to get the shoulders involved along with my back. Okay, so this time I'm still going to keep the feet on the floor. I'm going to inhale, rise up, lifting my torso and my arms up, and then exhale down. But notice if you have the tendency when you do this to stick your chin forward. Let's keep the head and neck out of it still. So let's still look a little bit ahead on the floor possibly, but not much. And now I feel more of my back working and a little bit higher up on my spine working. And just notice what you're feeling. A couple more. And rest. And you can wiggle the hips and do what feels best. And again, just ask yourself, okay, what did I feel working there? And you might not be aware either, right? So trying to tune in. We're going to do another set. Okay, this time you'll have the option to hold if you want to. Okay, arms come out, pinkies down, palms forward. When you're ready, inhale up. You can either hold or you can come up and down. Keep breathing. I have my glutes engaged. Good, and then rest whenever you're ready. All right, last one, you guys. This time I'm going to let you use your legs too. Okay, so we're going to take the legs are going to lift, but I'm going to take the arms back this time. Palms facing down, forehead down. You can either come up and down or you can hold. Okay, so I'm going to inhale, lifting arms, legs, and torso. I'm just going to hold here, but you can come up and down if you want. And for me, I notice that when I lift my legs, I'm using the backs of my legs more. I'm not feeling it as much in my back, but you can notice what you're feeling. I mean, not as much strengthening. I'm not feeling as much in my back. And when you're ready, come down. We're going to press ourselves up. And you can either come back into child's pose, if that pose feels good to you, sitting back towards your heels, forehead coming down. Or you could come into downward facing dog using either the floor or the chair. And let's take a couple more breaths, whatever you're choosing. Good, and then let's come up onto our feet. I'm going to Pause here. Okay, so we're going to pause. I've got my hands above my knees and I'm reaching my chest forward. So I want to show you something about, because we've been talking about osteoporosis in the lumbar region, right? And so osteoporosis is, a bone loss. It can be in different areas of your body, as some of you are aware of, right? So when you have it in your spine, it could be in any part of your spine, right? So one of the things that can happen as we get older, if we have bone loss in our spine, is that we can get fractures more easily, right? That makes sense. And the way that fractures tend to happen in the spine is they can be different kinds of fractures from lifting heavy items in a rounded spine. It usually happens more in the thoracic area when you're lifting like this, right? Rounding your spine is not a bad movement, so sometimes that gets a bad rap. We want to be able to round and arch our spine, but when we're lifting a heavy object, and especially with already compromised bone, we want to make sure that we're not rounding. Okay, so that is when we have compromised or some sort of bone loss with osteopenia or porosis, we want to make sure that we're using our legs and not putting a lot of weight. So you can imagine if I was lifting a big heavy weight from this position, that a lot of the pressure is going to be coming right there, right? And so that could damage something with a compromised spine. Not for everybody. For some people, it'll be just fine to do that. Okay, but let's just practice. Imagine you got something heavy. It's kind of like what we did last week when we were talking a bit about this. You're going to pick it up. I'm not jutting my head forward, right? My head's aligned. My neck is aligned. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to try to stay aligned and just without rounding. So this is something you can do, especially if you're concerned about this, if this is something personal for you, you can do it in front of a mirror. And just so you can get a feel for, am I rounding my spine? How far can I go down? Some people are compromised because of knee issues to be able to bend down far, right? So that can be an issue too. How far you can bend down and come up, right? Okay. Once you get up, let's just shake it out a bit. Get your chair in front of you. Okay, and just stand for a moment. Eyes can be open or closed. Feel all 10 of your toes on the floor. Feeling your breath go in and out. Notice what your body feels like right now. The front side of your body, the back side of your body, the left half of your body, and the right. And then whole body from top of head to feet. Good. And now feeling your breath go in, let's reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And as your breath goes out, let's take the arms out to the sides and down while still feeling connected to your feet on the floor. Let's do 2 more like that, just slowing down your breath. Inhale as you raise the arms. Long exhale. You can blow out through pursed lips or out through your nose. 1 more. And now next time, we're going to come up, but we're going to hinge at the hips. So you inhale up and exhale as you hinge. Let's bend the knees a little bit so that you can keep this aligned spine or this neutral spine and take hands to your chair. Okay, then inhale, reach your spine forward and step your right foot underneath the chair as you exhale, taking the left leg back. Okay, so I've got my left heel up. If you're able to go that far back, you can. I'm going to scoot my right hip back. And then my left hand is going to have a light touch on the chair. So try not to be really heavy with it if you can. Put the weight in your legs. Okay, you can always put a fist here. And I'm just going to take that right arm and open it up to the side, turning my chest to the side as well. Big arm circle. And as I exhale, I'm going to face forward again and repeat. So I'm just going to do big arm circles as I turn my chest around too. And exhale, come back and forward, and one more. Good. Next time you come back to the front, placing both hands on the chair. Let's step the feet back and come into a chair down dog. You can bend the knees to help you stretch the hips up and back. 3 breaths. You can also do this on the floor, hands on the floor, stepping the feet back. A little more weight here. And as you're ready, we'll inhale, bend the knees, and exhale, step your left leg forward, get it all the way underneath the chair. Right heel is lifted if you can. Left knee gets close to the chair. Going to be a light touch on that right hand. And I'm going to inhale, try to sweep that left arm up as you turn your chest to the side. And then exhale as you bring the arm around, facing the front again, and repeat a few more times. The next time you come around, we'll face the front. Inhale here and exhale. Just step that left foot out from underneath the chair a little bit so you can float that right leg in the air as you step it forward. Inhale to reach your chest forward. Exhale, bend the knees. And inhale, let's stand. Exhale, arms out and down. All right. For this next piece, you could use the seat of your chair to put your foot on. If you have an available wall, I recommend using that. You could use a door, you could use whatever you've got. You could use another piece of furniture. So you could use the chair, but you could also use the wall. All right, I'm going to show it with the wall. Just take your time getting there. Once you get there, just inhale, stand tall. Exhale. Now, I'm going to inhale and lift my right knee up. And I'm going to try to either hover my foot over the chair or just hover it over the floor. And then exhale, I'm going to put my foot on the wall. You see that? Just boop. Now, I'm going to have to arrange myself. You might need balance support, okay? Whew, I haven't done this in a while. I'm tight. Okay, so your foot is not going higher than your hip. Your bottom leg, we were going to try to keep that straight. It's okay if you have to bend the upper leg. Okay, you can bend and straighten it, you can do whatever you need to do. Okay? I'm going to try to have my hips even. See, so they're next to one another. The right hip isn't higher up, it's even. Okay, now you might have trouble sticking your foot to the wall. A lot of people complain about this. You just got to push it in there, okay? If you still have trouble, you might need to bend the knee a little bit, okay? Because it might be because the back of your leg is tight. You can always lower the leg on the wall. Just bring it down a little further. It doesn't have to be as high as mine, okay? It can be lower. If you're still having trouble, just use the chair, okay, instead. All right, that'll be lower, but that's okay. All right, so once you get set up, we're just trying to keep it there. This is harder than it looks. You're just breathing, trying to press that foot into the wall, press your foot into the floor. Keep going. I'm going to turn this a little bit more up. I'm going to take my arms up as well. You don't have to, it's just an option. And I'm getting a big stretch. For me, it's in my calf. For you, it might be behind your hamstring. You might feel in your hip a little bit. Remember, your upper leg's hip is not higher than the other leg. They're even across, okay? So lower it if it needs to. And now I'm going to exhale, turning toward my upper leg. I'm going to take my back hand to my hip and my top hand to the outer leg and breathe. This is like a twisted triangle pose in a different position. One more breath. And then I'm going to inhale, face the wall again. And exhale, step down. Head. Just kind of step side to side. So this is a lot of hip work, a lot of leg work, low back as well. All right. All right, so let's try the other side. We're going to start with trying to hover that left hip. So the hip inflection here. We're going to inhale, stand tall. Exhale, try to lift that left knee up, either hovering above the chair or just above the floor. You can always use balance, support, keep breathing. And then when you're ready, we're going to try to take it to the wall. So your bottom leg, whew, I am tight. That bottom ankle is trying to be right below the hip. So what I mean is I often see people do this like this. You see how my bottom leg right now is behind my hip. It's further back. I'm trying to get it right underneath. So I'm in 90-degree angles. My upper leg doesn't have to be at 90 though. It might need to be a lot lower. Okay. I'm pressing that foot into the wall, noticing where I feel this. If you're using the chair, your heel is on the chair. You're breathing. Okay, you can try arms up. And then as you're ready, you could twist if you want. Twisting toward that upper side. Back arm comes to hip. Good. Front leg, even if you're using the chair, the front leg is straight because we're trying to stretch that leg. You're getting a good stretch from the back of that upper leg. And then exhale, untwisting. And then inhale, step it down. Let's do a little swing and twist here. And the arms flop around. All right, I'm gonna come back over with our chair in front of our mats or in front of our area. In a step, so our toes are hidden by the seat of the chair. Inhale, stand tall. And exhale, stepping the left leg back to warrior one pose. So front knee bends, back heels on the ground. Our feet are hips distance apart. If you need to bend and straighten a few times, you can. Okay. Good. Let's inhale. You can take the arms up if you want, or they could go out to the side. Exhale, feel the feet grounded. Balls of feet, heels of feet. Good. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the arms down, hands to hips. Let's straighten the front leg. Okay, good. Inhale here. Exhale, I'm going to bend the front knee a little bit and hinge at the hips to take my left hand to the chair. Again, not too much weight on it, okay? I'm going to scoot my feet a little more under the chair. Now I'm going to try to straighten my front leg. So this is in the pose we did with our foot on the wall, but now we're doing it on the floor, okay? So I'm going to try to straighten the front leg. It doesn't have to straighten all the way. Notice this. I'm trying to stay away from rounding the spine in this pose. So I'm not doing this. If you find that you're rounding like this, then put a bend in the knee so you can straighten. Okay. Now I'm going to twist open to the right, just like we did at the wall. Your right hand could stay on your hip, or it could straighten up toward the ceiling, and I'm in twisted triangle pose. I'm trying to keep both feet grounded. If you're not getting enough out of this stretch, like for me, what I would want to do is have that bottom hand on a block instead. That's fine too. But if you're getting enough up on the chair, you can just stay there, or you can even put your block on the chair to bring the chair up higher. Good. One more breath. And now let's exhale, untwist, taking your hands to the chair, bending your front knee. Inhale, reach your chest forward. And now we're going to try to press into both feet strongly. As you exhale, come back up to warrior one. Inhale, you can take the arms up. And exhale, let's bring the arms down as you step forward. Good. So I've got my knees right against my chair here. That's how close I am to it. Inhale. Exhale, right leg back, warrior one. At both heels grounded, feet are hips distance, front knee is bent. Just taking my time arranging my body here. And inhale, take my arms up. Take a couple breaths here in warrior one. You don't have to take the arms up. Feel the balls and heels of both of your feet. Nice job. Good. Now as you exhale, let's bring the arms down. You can take your hands to your hips if you want and straighten that front leg. Just feel yourself find a steady position for the feet. Now exhale, little bend in the knee as you hinge at the hips, taking your right hand to the chair. Not too much weight. Now, if you know you want to use a block on the floor instead, you can do that, right? Same thing, you just need to back up, okay? Now, from here, you can keep the leg bent or you could straighten it. Remember, what you're going for is a neutral spine. So if when you straighten it, you tend to do this, let's keep it bent. See if you could stay extended, or even bring your hand up higher onto something else. Now from here, exhale, twisting your chest open to the left. Your left hand can stay on hip, or it could reach out or up, and breathe. Try to feel the even pressure in the balls and heels of both feet. Let's take 3 more breaths. 2, and 1. And exhale, untwist. Let's bend that front knee more. Inhale, reach your chest forward. And exhale, press into both feet evenly to stand up. Inhale, warrior one. And exhale, stepping forward. Good. Just kind of step side to side. All right. We're going to stay in this position. But this time, we're going to back up so that our knees are not right against the chair. Going to start the same way. Inhale. Exhale, warrior one, left foot steps back. Get yourself oriented. Inhale, you can take your arms up if you want. And then as you exhale, keep the front knee bent and take your hands to your chair. Now you might need to pull it a little closer if you backed up more than you needed. Okay, good. Now from here, you can keep this front knee as bent as you've got it, or you could straighten it some. You're going to try to lift the back leg a little bit or a lot. Okay. Now I've got this neutral spine. I haven't rounded my spine. If you find that you're rounding your spine to get your hands to the chair, let's bend that right knee, shift your weight into the right heel, and reach your chest forward. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And one more breath. Good. And then from here, we're going to place that back foot down on the floor, put the heel down, reach your chest forward, press into the feet, and stand back up. Inhale to warrior one. And exhale, stepping forward. Well, good job. These are some hard poses we're doing here. We've been doing Virabhadrasana 1, that's warrior one, right? We did Trikonasana, but a twisted Trikonasana, right? That's triangle twisted. And now we just did warrior 3. So we did Virabhadrasana 3. Let's do the second side. So start in warrior one, stepping right leg back. Can take your arms up if you'd like. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, and hinge at the hips, finding your chair. Right? Now you know where we're going, so you might know if you need to walk your foot forward or not. Going to slowly lift the back heel. Maybe you take flight with that back leg. Now, remember, we're going for a neutral spine here, not a rounded or flexed spine. So you might need to bend the knee more. If you're bending the knee, take your weight into the heel. Keep reaching your chest forward and breathe. You should feel your hip working to hold you here. So you don't have a lot of weight on the hands, right? You might even be able to take your hands off if you want. Good. Now to come out, I'm going to place that back foot down, put the heel down, reach your chest forward, exhale, press down through feet to rise, inhale, arms up, and exhale, step forward. Good. You can swing and twist here where you might have your feet wide and hula hoop. And let's come to center with feet about shoulders distance apart, arms at your sides. So inhale, stand tall, and exhale, lean down to one side, any amount. Inhale, center, and exhale, lean to the other side. All right, coming back to the center and face your chair again. I'm going to start with warrior one again, okay? And inhale, stand tall. Exhale, left leg back, warrior one. Okay. Inhale there and exhale there. Good. Let's inhale, arms out in front. And exhale, let's open the left arm and turn the chest to the side. And you can look back if you want to. And then we'll inhale, bring the arm forward and look forward. And then exhale, open the right arm. You can turn and look if you want. And inhale forward. We'll just do both sides a couple more times. Noticing how this feels with your balance, with your legs, your hips. Notice how far you want to look. And next time you come forward, let's let the arms come down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back and again. Good. And then step forward. Step side to side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, right leg goes back, warrior one. Feet are hips distance. So any amount of bend, I was demonstrating a pretty shallow bend, but you could always go deeper. You just have to step a little wider, front to back, I mean. Both heels grounded. Inhale, arms out in front. Exhale, let's twist open to the right first, taking the right arm back. Just notice how this might mess with your balance or not. Again, not forcing your neck to look, just going as far as feels right, and also noticing the limitations or mobility in your neck. And coming back to the center, let's bring your hands to the chair this time and just organize your feet to step back to downward facing dog with or without the chair. So you could come down, hands to floor, or you could keep hands on chair. Let your jaw relax, whatever you've chosen to do, your face to relax. And then slowly coming down to the floor. Good. So I'm going to give you a couple of choices here for this. Okay, one, well, let's all start with the same. For this, you may want to sit up on a blanket or a pillow. Okay, I'm just propping myself up on a folded blanket. And what I'm going to do is my left knee is folded under, and my right foot, my right knee is up. This is my right leg. And maybe it can come across. You see what I did there? It might need to stay here. You might not have the hip range to take it across, but you can see it's on the floor on the other side. Okay. Now, if this hurts your hip joints or your knee joints, you can adjust. You could have that bottom leg straight if you need to. Okay, it doesn't have to be bent under. Here's an option for people that are feeling nothing when they do this, or very little. And see, now what I'm going to do is what I did was I took that top foot and I scooted it back and stacked my knees on top of one another. But that might be crazy. Like that might not feel good to you at all, right? So you can be here. This other foot on my side, that's my left foot. I'm not sitting on it. It's out here. Okay. So you're going to choose what gives you some stretch through the hips somewhere. Okay. And just take a few breaths. I like to hold my feet in this pose and sit up tall. Let's take 3 slow breaths. Counting in for a count of 3 or 4, and out for a count of 5 or 6. Try to relax through your shoulders and your jaw. And then as you're ready, I'm going to come out. You can use your hands for assisting if you need to, or if you want to. And now I'm going to take my right leg, foot in, knee out, right? So if you know this won't work for this side, you can always have that bottom leg straight, okay? Left leg, it might stay right where it is. That might be enough of a stretch here. Or you might step it to the other side of the knee. You can kind of pull the foot out. You're sitting on your blanket or your block or your pillow. Block can work too. I forgot about that. If you're not feeling very much here and you want to be, not pain, but stretch, you could always try taking that foot a little further out. This pose is called Gomukhasana, cow face pose for some reason. Okay, Gomukhasana. Now, any variation, you can just try to sit up tall. You can have your hands on your feet if you'd like, or they might be behind your back. And let's take 3 slow breaths, making the exhale longer than the inhale. All right, and then slowly bring yourself out. Straighten out the legs for a moment. Now I'm going to show you the next pose and give you a choice. Okay, so choice 1 would be to be on your back using your chair, and the choice 2 will be upright. Okay, so choice 1 is a figure 4 stretch. You might want your blanket behind your head. So what I do for this is my heels are on my chair. Legs are at about a 90-degree bend at the knee and hip. And then I cross one leg over and press the knee out to the side or lift the foot off the seat of the chair, holding behind. Sometimes we call this thread the needle pose. Okay. That's one way to do it. Puts less pressure on the knees and hips. Still a good, great stretch. Another way would be upright. I'm going to do a variation of a zigzag stretch or a pigeon pose. So I'll have my leg like this. My right leg would be out. I could also tuck this foot in more, okay? And then I would turn my chest toward my knee and fold forward. I could prop my head on a block. I could also take this back leg and straighten it out more. Okay, so choose one of those, either the on your back chair variation or this variation. Choose one where you can keep your breath calm, where you have some sensation, but you can settle in and relax there for about 3 or 4 slow breaths. And then as you're ready, if you're on your back, you're just bringing both feet back to the chair and switching sides. If you're upright, you're going to come up out of it and switch sides. It may be that one side you need the chair or you want to be on your back and one side you're upright. So that's fine too, okay? And then turn your chest towards your front knee if you're seated upright, and then fold as you're ready. The back leg can be bent or it can be straight. Okay, so choosing what you prefer and then staying there for 3 to 4 slow breaths. Good. And then as you're ready, we can join on our backs here. You could do any last poses that feel good to you, like a knees to chest or some sort of twist. Or you can go into legs over chair or shavasana. Moving your shoulder blades away from your ears when you get there. And just take your time getting any of the props you might like, blankets or eye coverings. And then when you find a position that works for you to feel supported, try taking an exhale like a sigh. Imagine that you are sinking into the floor and the props a little bit more deeply. And can you let go of as much effort as possible here? Notice what's happening in your physical body, what sensations you have, what your nervous system feels like. If you feel agitated or relaxed or tired, checked out, present, whatever it might be. And then honoring anything you feel grateful for today. Noticing how that might shift your experience in your body and your mind.